And our word for today on this Wednesday of the 12th week in Ordinary Time, our word for today is remain, taken from our gospel reading, from our gospel acclamation from the Gospel of John, chapter 15. Remain in me as I remain in you, says the Lord. Whoever remains in me will bear much fruit. And you think, well, that's a pretty straightforward thought, an idea, a commission, of course, to remain in the Lord. But it's not easy. It comes with a very distinct set of difficulties. We have the world attacking us from every angle, of course, as it should be. But then we also have the evil one trying to deceive the believer into believing he's wiser, he or she is wiser, more competent, and just better common sense, a better worldly sense than the church itself. And so I have arguments with the church. I believe at some points in time that my thought opinion is higher than a church teaching or what the church is saying. Are we crazy? That's what I want to say. Yes, at times we are crazy, brothers and sisters. And it is natural to us because we have a sin nature. But grace is sufficient to overcome that sin nature, and that is what allows us to remain faithful to the church. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton has one of my favorite quotes and something that I live by. She said, I love every word of the Council of Trent. She said, I love every word of the Council of Trent, though I have read none of it. I love every word of the Council of Trent, though I have read none of it. What is she saying in this very simplistic quote? She's saying, I trust the church. Jesus made a promise to the church. I stand on that promise. Jesus founded the church on the Apostle Peter and promised that the gates of hell would not prevail against the church. He made no such promise to you, by the way. He made no such promise to me. He made the promise to the church and those who will remain faithful to her. Yes, conversations. How have our teachings come about except through conversations through these years? We have defined teaching because conversation rose up and it needed to be further defined. It needed to be defined, period. Dogmas have come about because of those very conversations. But always faithful to the church, brothers and sisters, never stepping outside of the boat. That is where we stand. That is what St. Elizabeth Ann Seton is pointing to. I trust the church. If there's a difference of opinion between me and the church, I'm going with the church. Why? Because she holds the promise and I do not. Seems simple, but not always that simple. We've seen great examples of people who are absolutely committed to the teaching of the church who have fallen away because they let a bitterness rise up in them that grows up and chokes out the truth. We're warned against it in the scriptures itself. Don't let a seed of bitterness grow up in you. No, cast it out. Say, I might be struggling with this particular thing or that particular thing, but I will not be overcome by it. I will stand with the church. I will remain faithful to the church while I continue to pray through it, read about it, come to a different conclusion. Yes, struggle with it. Of course, our life is supposed to be about struggle, coming to a greater awareness of the truth through struggle and difficulty. Yes, but never without faithfulness, standing faithfully with the church at all times, and therefore remaining in the church, remaining with the Lord himself, who has given that promise that the gates of hell would not prevail against the church. And we could find confidence in her. We could have our confidence in her. Remain, our word for today.